So I was talking to this hot girl yesterday, and when she came over to me, we went to her house. And then the second we walked in, oh, hi, Smogs. How's your sex life? So, tonight was Impact Wrestling, brother. And we had the debut of the Smoke Show. And I had to rewatch the first 40 minutes of the show, and the reason for that is I had little technical difficulties, to say the very least, with one DirecTV. So I missed the first, I guess you could really say the first quarter of the show. We watched it, made sure, like, okay, that happened, blah, 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 and as we do. So, starting off, our opening match we had tonight, we had Sami Callihan versus Phoenix. Of course, Sami Callihan, we all know, has been feud with Phoenix's brother, Pentagon Jr. And this wasn't a bad match. I mean, it was okay, decent opener to my personal opinion. Surprisingly enough, Phoenix got the victory. I thought maybe Sami Callihan would win, get a little like revenge in some sort of way with Pentagon Jr. And Phoenix won. Again, not a bad opener. And what's interesting to me is when I look at OVE, even though they took the loss here, they're very even though they took the loss here, they're kind of like a threatening trio here. I think if I had to compare it, I think it was a more not so serious, but a more threatening version of what WWE was trying to do several years ago with the Wyatt family, and simply just being just complete utter whack jobs that they have like no control over themselves unless you're Sami Callihan, who can control two of them, but he can't control himself, and you kind of get the idea. So, and they also booked I forget what it was. It was like the Uncivil War or something along those lines. I believe it's Impact Wrestling and another company. I forgot what the name was. They're gonna be doing a Twitch stream. They're gonna be doing like a little event, and they're gonna have it on their Twitch. So I guess that's going to be, I guess, their version of rivaling SummerSlam, because that's also this Sunday. So we'll see how that goes. By the way, speaking of SummerSlam, I do look forward to reviewing that show, and half that card looks not very entertaining. Let's just say Monday night rematches. That's all I'm saying. Anywho, they also said that Phoenix is scheduled to face Brian Cage for the X Division Championship in, I believe, 2 weeks' time, either a week or 2 weeks from now. So that should be an interesting matchup, I think, between Phoenix and Brian Cage. Plus, we haven't seen Brian Cage since the Impact right after Slammiversary, when he retained his title against Matt Sydal, which was obviously a rematch from the previous the pay-per-view, the previous match. Then you had a backstage segment between Allie and Kiera Hogan. Thank God Kiera Hogan didn't speak in this one, because she was god awful last week. She just spoke like this, and it was just so bad, so boring. Allie, while she's isn't the greatest on the mic, she's significantly better at the two. I know it's not saying much, but still, Allie. Again, what I like about Allie's character is, again, I've noticed this before, but it's Bailey done right. She's kind of like that girl that, little girls can look up to and whatnot. She's not a sex symbol or anything like that, but she's strong. She's not afraid to kick butt, and she goes for it. So, I'll give her props for that one. And she's basically calling out how, she's going to end Su Yung, and she's going to do this for Rosemary. She's going to do this for Madison Rayne, and she made a promise, and she's going to keep it. So then you have Jimmy Jacobs come out, and by this point, this is when the DirecTV came back for me. Oh, Jimmy Jacobs is a freaking Twinkie. All right, he's a twink because he calls himself the Zombie Princess. I thought the bridesmaids were like zombie princesses, but that's neither here nor there. And he's talking about, oh, he's a monster. The monsters arrived, and he's supposed to have a little match with Johnny Impact. The match only happens for about, I don't know, 45, 60 seconds, really. It really starts off right before the bell rings. Congo Kong comes out and beats up on Johnny Impact for good 10, 15 seconds. And then the bell rings. Jimmy Jacobs gets his butt kicked, basically. And then out comes in Congo Kong, DQ, winner by DQ, Johnny Impact. And then Congo Kong and Jimmy Jacobs start basically double teaming on Johnny Impact, and steel chairs were used, and kicks and whatnot, and Johnny Impact fought back, and just a bunch of craziness. And Johnny Impact went up to Jimmy Jacobs and said, "An eye for an eye." So you also put this show in eyes. Freaking Matt Sydal and the third eye, and also we get the debut of the Smoke Show. And I thought they were gonna do this maybe like inside the ring, or they were gonna do this on the apron, not the apron, the excuse me, the ramp. Instead, they did it backstage. You know, Scarlett Bordeaux, she's sitting down on her lounge, kind of seductively on a love seat, and she has both KM and Falaba as her guests. And she basically, in her weird, seductive way, tells KM to stop being a cocky SOB and be more sensitive around Falaba, because Falaba's over, basically, long story short. And he's like, yeah, you know what? We're going to do this. All right, Falaba, let's go. And that was pretty much it for the Smoke Show. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, also, there was a moment where Scarlett Bordeaux looked like she was going to kiss KM, and then that's when KM's like, I got it. So, I don't know. If they get real close for Scarlett Bordeaux, they have an epiphany. I have no idea. By the way, no Bobos. Like, darn. No Bobo. But then again, Bobo's probably parking her car in the parking lot, so for all we know. Anyways, so they do a little program for excuse me, do a little promo for Brooklyn, for Bound for Glory, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So then comes Austin Aries, and I'm like, this should be good. Because, you know, if you remember Impact last week, Austin Aries retained the Impact Championship over Eddie Edwards thanks to Killer Cross, and it kind of didn't make any sense. Because, especially for Killer Cross's standpoint, because he's all like, oh, I'm a lone man, I'm a lone wolf, and then he just teams up with the champion. It just doesn't matter. Again, it's a champion. If you want to team up with somebody, beat the champion, but still. So Austin Aries comes out, and then he's like, oh, everyone's been asking me the questions all week. Why? Who? Why? What? And one thing I will say about this promo was, I liked how Austin Aries controlled the crowd. Whenever he just said why, the crowd was like, why? Why? He said what? Yeah, just, you know, Austin Aries, he may be like a douche in real life or not. By the way, shout out to his ex-girlfriend, Zelina Vega, aka Thea Trinidad, aka Rosita, who apparently said in a recent tweet saying that she wants nothing to do with them. Damn. Anyways, back to this. Austin Aries comes out. He introduces Killer Cross. Killer Cross is just like, oh, you know, Austin Aries said everyone pays a troll and blah, blah, blah. And if he needed somebody, Killer Cross is there. And out comes Eddie Edwards with a kendo stick. And he starts attacking Killer Cross with a kendo stick. Killer Cross doesn't sell it for another like 5 to 6 more shots with the kendo stick, and then he goes off to Aries. By that point, Killer Cross trips, who's on the floor of the ring mat, trips over Eddie Edwards. They start beating him up right then and there. So the program continues between Austin Aries and Eddie Edwards. So I'm glad this isn't like just a one-off type of deal. They're actually building a feud between the two, and it's kind of weird from Eddie Edwards' perspective, because he was just a heel not that long ago, so I guess now he's kind of like a tweener, which I'll get to someone else who seems like might be a tweener on this show, a favorite of mine, so we'll see how that goes. Again, I'm interested to see in this feud, and it's plus the world title feud, so it's a very good thing. Then we go on to Eli Drake versus Joe Hendry. And before the match started, Joe Hendry had this little video package where it was him mocking, forget my dog, mocking Eli Drake, and he had like a couple guys behind him who dressed up as Trevor Lee and Caleb Conley, who was with Eli Drake in this match, of course. And it was just like a weird, funny little skit type of deal that was on the Titantron, and then he comes out. Again, Joe Hendry's theme song is obnoxious, but I guess that's the whole point. And Eli Drake gets a victory on this one after getting a roll-up, after just Grado by accidentally distracting Joe Hendry. So still waiting for that. I guess we'll have a Bound for Glory down the road. Maybe Joe Hendry and Grado. I guess maybe Joe Hendry turns heel on Grado, because it's sort of like they kind of stopped. Even though Katarina was here, they kind of didn't go for the whole like hinting that, dude, your best buddy is like sleeping with your girl on the side or something. You know, they didn't really hint at that this week, so they kind of laid off of it. But I don't know, we'll see. Then we had a video package for Matt Sydal doing yoga. Yes, he's talking about the third eye, doing yoga. That was something. And then we had OVE backstage. Sam McCallum says it's time to end Pentagon Jr. once and for all because it's all his fault and his loss to Phoenix. And then at that point, it's just like, yeah, Dave's getting his head shaved. And yeah, and he also said he wants Pentagon in a Mexican death match. And I believe that's supposed to be either next week or a couple weeks from now. So I like the fact that they're already building up matches, not for like pay-per-views, but matches like a week or two beforehand. I think that's pretty good. You know, helps your audience try like, what are we gonna have this week? Oh yeah, that's right, we got a Mexican death match. I haven't never seen a Mexican death match. Don't know what it is. So that's neither here nor there. And then we had a Knockouts championship match. By the way, I didn't even know it was a Knockouts championship match until they announced it. You had the Allie, cashing basically her rematch clause here versus Su Yung, and the match itself was all right, not too bad. And of course, Josh Matthews and Don Callis had the great idea to plug Swedish dicks at this point in the middle of this match. Can they name the program something else? I get it's right after the show, so you want to give them a cheap plug. Anyways, this match itself was alright, wasn't too bad. And then Tessa, of course, came out, went for the attack on Allie. Then match ended in no contest. And, she was kind of going after also Su Yung at one point during this attack, and I thought it was kind of interesting. I'm like, okay, well, she's not that stereotypical heel. It's like, oh, I'm not attacking you because you're a baddie. Oh, you're a good person. I'm going to go hit on you. Like, it's sort of like maybe Tessa, even though she does have an edge about her, she's not afraid to attack the heels either. So maybe she is a tweener. So I don't know, but everything here seems screams they're gonna have a triple threat for the Knockouts Championship, and I haven't seen the spoilers. But it's probably going to happen, I guess, probably sometime in the near future, my guess, because I don't think they will build this from now to October. I mean, it can, but it's kind of like stretching it out a bit, but needless to say, I'm very intrigued to see Su Yung versus Ali versus Tessa for the Knockouts Championship. So, alright, job by Impact. And finally, you had your main event. You had your little street fight. And I was kind of worried at first when I heard these guys were going to have a street fight. I'm like, oh, they just had a street fight at Bound for Glory, Bound for Glory, anniversary several weeks ago. So I'm going, okay, what's going to happen now? They're going to have another street fight in the middle of the ring? Seriously? No, they literally had it in the parking lot / street. So I'm glad they at least changed the venue a bit. Long story short, all you need to know is even though these teams are going back and forth, LAX pretty much just killed OGs near the end. And I like this little kind of confrontation between was it Conan from LAX, and you had this Eddie Kingston, I think his name is. You have Kingston on OGs, and he's just like, "Oh, hit me! You don't have the balls to hit me. Come on, hit me! I dare you! I dare you! Take a swing at me! Go ahead! You dare, you son of a bitch!" And then he's like, "With pleasure," and just whacks him, and the screen goes black, and I'm like, is this Impact or is this Lucha Underground? Because that looked like something that I would probably see off Lucha Underground, not because, oh, it's Conan. But, the way that was set up, you could tell that was just strictly, Conan going off to, Scott D'Amore and or Don Callis going, hey, I want it to be like this, 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 and this. And I'm like, all right. So, not a bad episode of Impact, actually, the more I think about it. This is actually one of the better ones they've had in recent weeks. I know lately I've been saying, no, it's kind of been a little mediocre, but this is probably the best I've seen from Impact since Slammiversary. And that's saying something. Slammiversary was such a solid show. A lot of people are saying, oh, the pay-per-view of the year, and it's very hard to argue with that statement. So, again, not a bad job by Impact. I look forward to it. And usually by now I'd be saying, well, I'll see you guys next week. But again, as I mentioned previously in the video, I most likely will be reviewing SummerSlam. And again, that should be something. I'm out. Have a good night, guys.